Both parties leading in the federal election campaign say they want to make it easier to build energy projects, especially oil and gas infrastructure. Both have cited a need to build a pipeline from Alberta to Eastern Canada to protect our national energy interests. That idea might make political sense right now, but does it make financial sense? Here's Kevin Green.
Today, I'm announcing a comprehensive new approach to make Canada the world's leading energy superpower.
Mark Carney wants more pipelines, including one to the east.
We'll repeal the production cap, remove C-69, and commit to the aim of approving major projects in under 6 months.
Pierre Poilievre wants those pipelines too.
We're prepared to step up and say, you want to build a pipeline? We're in.
And Danielle Smith really wants them. Even the Premier of Quebec is warming to the idea.
We're open to these kind of projects, but we need to have a social acceptance in Quebec.
And so are many who live in Quebec.
When you're talking decades to get approvals for anything, companies aren't interested in that. And when that reality changes in Canada, I have no idea, but it needs to.
But does a pipeline that would have to cut through the Canadian Shield to get to Eastern Canada make financial sense for the oil companies that might build one? Economist Andrew Leach says shipping Alberta oil east will make that oil more expensive and thus uneconomical.
Who's paying that toll? Is Alberta willing to accept a discount to world prices that's large enough to pay for that shipment and still make it attractive to Eastern refiners? The answer is probably not.
In a statement to CTV, the Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers says governments need to make all energy projects easier to build, writing, governments should focus on creating the right environment to attract private investment into nation-building infrastructure projects that will provide market diversification for Canadian products, tariff-proof our economy, and protect our sovereignty. The last big cross-Canada pipeline proposal, Energy East, was killed in 2017. Leach says, despite the economics, that question of national security may make something like it viable again.
The pure economics go west. The national security question, now you really start looking hard at that eastern right-of-way, at least to get you to Iroquois and sort of the Quebec-Ontario border.
Kevin joins us now. Okay, so that's the big question. If this pipeline gets built, Kevin, who's going to pay for it?
Right, Tara, that's the biggest question, and right now one of the hardest to answer. As Andrew Leach pointed out, building to the west is more economical, but even then, look at what happened with the Trans Mountain pipeline. The federal government had to step in and buy it before it got completed. We asked the Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers if it expected any level of government to kick in funds to build a pipeline through to Eastern Canada. It didn't answer that question. Instead, it just reiterated that it expected whichever party wins the federal election to reduce the regulatory burden to try and attract the kind of investors that are required to build big infrastructure projects like an eastern-facing pipeline. Back to you.
Kevin, thank you.